termina a la 1.
Ajá.
Voy a darte marcar a esa hora y yo tengo a las 7. Ya a las 7.
Sí,
voy a hacer yo.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the class.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning. So I want to start the class with a vocabulary game. Let me stop sharing. Well, first, I want to kind of recap what we were talking about last class. Last class, remember that we were talking about simple past tense. We were talking about the verb to be in past, which was and where, and we were working on the English ID book, specifically on lesson 6.2, which is talking about how to plan a party, right? That was what we were focusing on. We were working on pages 64 and 65. Today, we are going to continue kind of with the same grammatical structure, which is simple past tense, but only focusing on was and where. But to start with, and kind of to jog our memories and work on vocabulary, I want to share with you a game. This game, you probably have played this game in another subject or in another language as well. I'm going to share with you a screen. The screen will have a letter and 12 categories. For example, it will say letter A, and then I'm going to display 12 categories there. And you have to look for or come up with words related to that particular category. For example, if you have A and you have fruits, then you're going to look for fruits that start with an A. Or if it says kitchen appliances, then you have to look for words that are related to kitchen appliances, but they have to start with an A. I don't know if I have explained myself properly, but I'm going to, sorry, go ahead, sorry. Somebody was going to ask.
You mean the
Oh, you're sounding in and out. I don't know if it's me.
you're talking about a broken phone, right?
Kind of, but it's more like, I don't know, in Spanish, you have, for example, if you can see, hopefully you can see my screen right now, you have a letter, right? Letter G, and you have the time. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, right? For you to think about, and you have here, you have 12 categories. And when I display the categories, what you're going to do is you have to come up with words related to that. We're going to do it just as an example. So we have here. So languages that start with G. Can anybody tell me languages that start with G? Languages with G?
German.
German, excellent. Very good. Sorry? Any other? What about gifts or presents that you can give people that start with G? Gifts or presents?
Guzman.
Oh, you're talking about last names? Yeah, could be. What about foreign cities? Cities that start with a G? Anybody? Cities that start with a G? No? Halloween costumes that start with a G? Math terms that start with a G? It's sports that start with a G? Anybody?
Geography is a math terms. No.
Well, could be. Well, but not as, yeah, could be like, for example, in a, not necessarily a math term, but it's related to a problem that could be solved with math. Yeah. What about musical groups? Do you have musical groups with G? Any musical group with G? No, nothing. Cosmetic or toiletries with G?
El grupo es JET, en el grupo musical que dijo
Ajá, yeah.
JET, algo así se dice.
Oh, okay. Didn't know. What about items in the refrigerator? What things can you put in the refrigerator that start with a G? No? Okay, let's change, but you get the idea, right? This, I'm going to show you a letter and you're going to, what about with L? Languages with L? Any languages with L? No? What about gifts or presents with L? Something that you can give for Mother's Day? Nothing with L? What about cities? Cities with L? What about London?
London.
Excellent. Good. What about items that you save up to buy? Things that you save your money because you want to buy. What are things that start with an L? Nothing?
Loan.
Okay. What about music? Music groups that start with an L. Anybody? Music groups that start with an L? No. Things that you found on a map. Games, term, sports.
Place.
Okay, yeah, good. Good. Okay, and well, that was just, I just wanted to kind of, as I said, focus on vocabulary first to start the class. So now I want us to, last class, as I said, we finished on the IG book pages. We were working on all of the exercises from pages 64 and 65. We finished with the email. Remember the email about Martin, that Martin was writing. So now I want us to work on some exercises from the workbook. I'm going to present it here, just for you to.
Page what, teacher?
We were working on page 64 and 65, remember? We were working on, I'm going to share with you in a minute.
English ID or the other?
Yeah, English ID. That's the one that we are working on. We are going to work on. So let me just share the book with you. We're working on, as I said, simple past tense, but basically we are going to be focusing on was and where. The I'm going to share with you. Hopefully you're going to be able to see my screen in a few seconds and you're all are going to be able to see the book. Are you able to see my book, guys? In the screen? No? Are you able to see the book? No? Am I sharing?
No.
No? Okay, give me a second then. I thought I was sharing. So I'm just going to open the book on that particular pages just to refresh your memory. Remember that those exercises we finished already. We were working on them in the previous class. Give me just a second. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share again to be able. Let me know if you can see the pages now. Are you able to see the book now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So these are the exercises that we were working on. The last exercise that we work on is on this email. We completed the email with the grammar structure that we studied, which was and where. So today we are going to be focusing on the workbook and some exercises to practice the grammatical structure of was and where. We are going to be identifying mistakes, turning into singular and plural. Now, just to refresh your memory, I want to go to the grammatical structure again. Give me just a second. Let me know if you can see the screen without any issues. So this is the grammatical structure. Past simple, and we were working on was and where. Remember that the verb to be in present, it has 3 forms, right? Am, is, and are. But in past, it takes only 2 forms, which is was and where. We use simple past tense for actions that started in the past and they finish in the past, right? These situations, they have a specific time in the past and they don't continue into the future. They do not continue, right? And the time expression, something that we talked about in last class as well, you have expressions like yesterday, last year, last night, last month, last week, Thursday, last year, or you have other expressions like a week ago, 2 days ago, 10 years ago, or you can be more specific and talk about a year or a date in a specific, just like you can say, well, in 2019, I was not receiving my classes online. So those are the time expressions and they will give you a context of what you're talking about. So remember that was and where is divided or it's being used with different pronouns. If you want to use was, you have to use it with the pronouns I, he, she, and it. And where is for the pronouns we, you, they. And if you want to make it negative, both of them, what you have to do is use not, right? Was not, were not, or you use the contraction, which is wasn't and were. Whenever you want to ask a question, a yes, no question, you say, were you at school yesterday? Were you hungry last night? Was he working on his homework? Or questions like that, then you use was and were with the pronoun and it's a just no question. So this was just kind of, as I said, just to refresh your memory. Don't forget that this is just kind of like the first part of simple past tense, because as you probably know and you're very aware of, Then we have verbs in past that are called irregular and regular verbs, right? But the most, or the first thing to move on to regular and irregular verbs is to be able to know when to use the verb to be in past. Any questions about this? Because as I said, this was just to refresh your memories on the use of was and where. Now I want us to move on to the book. We are going to be practicing the use of was and where in context. If everybody goes to the book on page, give me just a second and I will share with you. The book on page 30, the workbook to be exact. On page 30, you're going to be able to see that there are some exercises related to was and where. Give me a second to share. Are you able to see my screen? Can you see my screen, guys?
No, teacher.
No? Okay. Give me a second. I don't know why I'm having issues sharing the book. So the first exercise that you have there is number one is to add vowels to the incomplete words to make them common party items. These have to do with the vocabulary part of the lesson. And you have to write, and let's focus on that. Give me just a second. I don't know, as I said. What about now? Can you see the book or just the document? Are you able to see the book now, guys? No?
No.
I don't know what's wrong. I'm trying. Something's wrong. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to try to. What about now? Can you see my screen now? The book?
Yes.
Okay, so this is we are only going to be working on 2 exercises from here just to practice vocabulary and grammar. Then we are going to move on to another exercise. So you have in the first exercise, how to plan a party. It's about vocabulary of lesson 6.2. You have to complete the missing letters from each of the words from A to I, right? And we have A. You have to write what's the missing word, or what's the word completed? What does it say? Anybody? What's the word that that is formed with the missing letters?
In the letter C is balloon.
Yeah.
Balloon.
Balloons. Excellent. What about C? What's the missing words with the missing letters? Sorry?
Cake and candles.
Cake and candles. Excellent. You don't need a on D.
Snacks.
Snacks. Excellent. You need non-alcoholic drinks like
Lemonade. or Coke.
Lemonade, excellent. Lemonade. You don't need alcoholic drinks like on F?
Beer.
Beer. Wine, excellent.
Champagne.
And champagne, excellent, guys. What about G? You don't need a
Plates, napkins, and glasses.
perfect. And H, it says you need
Fireworks.
fireworks. And the last one, you don't need music. Perfect. Perfect. So now I want us to move on to the next exercise, which is exercise 6.3. You have to, there's a word missing in each of the questions or statements or sentences, and you have to turn it or correct it by listening to the audio. So you have to add the word that is missing from A to H. You have the example on A, which says, when was Mary's party, right? So you're going to be listening to the audio for B to H, and then I'm going to ask people for their answers. So I'm going to play it, please. Try to catch all of the answers.
Audio 6.3. A.
When was Mari's party?
B.
How was it?
C.
Where was it?
D.
What was the weather like?
E.
Was there a lot of food?
F.
Were there fireworks?
G.
Was there a cake?
H.
How many people were there at the party?
Were you able to catch the answer, or do you want to listen again? Hi.
Listen again.
Okay, we have the second time.
Audio 6.3. A.
When was Mari's party?
B.
How was it?
C.
Where was it?
D.
What was the weather like?
E.
Was there a lot of food?
F.
Were there fireworks?
G.
Was there a cake?
H.
How many people were there at the party?
Okay, let's check answers. What about B? What's the missing word on B? Hello, are you there? What's the missing word?
It.
It, excellent. And it's supposed to say, how was it, right? That's the last word on that question. Then we have C. What's the missing word on that particular question?
Was.
Was, perfect. What about what about letter D? Which is it?
What?
What, perfect. And it's supposed to say, what was the weather like? What about E? What's the missing word on E? Was anybody able to listen? E, was the food, was there a lot of, right? The missing word on E is off. Was there a lot of food? What about F. Which is the word that was missing on F? Where? Perfect. Were there fireworks? What about G? What's the missing word on G? Excellent. And the last one, how many people were there at the, well, I said the answer already. How many people were there at the party? So the missing word there is many.
And R.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. Now, I'm going to move on to the next activity, which is also to practice was and where. This is, give me just a second, and we're going to practice with a Kahoot, and then we are going to move on to another set of exercises, depending on how how fast we practice this. In this game, you're going to be choosing whether it is, was or were on each of the exercises. Give me a minute and I will share. Any questions or any doubts, guys, on how to use before we move on to the next activity? Any questions or doubts about was and where and when to use them? Oh no, wait, okay. Give me a second and I will share the pin. Okay, are you able to, no, I'm not sharing screen right now. Okay, I'm sharing screen right now. If you can join, please go ahead. The pin is 163-52110. 163-52110. Go ahead and join. There are 10 exercises that we were going to work on and that we are going to use just to check and work on this. More people are joining. 163-52110. That's the pin that we are going to be using. People. Let's give them. Okay, great. We have 13 of you. I'm waiting for the other ones. Go ahead and join. 163-52110. Okay, great. Okay, 18 of you have joined so far. 163-52110. 110. 5 to 10. Okay, let's start. You can continue joining. There are only 18 of you right now. but we are going to start. You can join at any moment. So was and where? Let's see what your answers might be. Yesterday we was, where, am, or are. Which is the right answer? Which one will you use? Okay, let's see your answers. Yesterday we were, right? And what gives you the clue that you're talking about past is the time expression, which is yesterday. And what you have to gives you the clue or the context is we, right? We, you have to use the plural form, which is where. Let's see our next one. Number 2. I yesterday. Which is the right answer? You have to write it this time. Can be, you know, is it was, is it where, is it is it am, is it are? Which is the right answer? Let's see, which is it? 2 more seconds. Answers are in, and the right answer was. And 12 of you were correct. Let's move on to the next one, okay? Make it negative. Last week, I was at school. Make it negative. Last week, let's see, make it negative. Last week, I was, what is it? I was at school not. Was not I at school? How would you order it? Is it first one the yellow, second one the green, or is it the first one the red one and then the blue? Which is the order of this sentence to make it negative? Is it first the blue? Is it first the yellow? What goes next? You have to arrange it. 8 more seconds. Let's see. So the right order, it was supposed to be, I was not at school, to make it negative. Now, next one. Number 5, which is the right answer? The film was very bad. The film was very bad. Is it was, is it wasn't, is it were or weren't? Which is the right answer? Let's see, 5 more seconds for your answers to be in. So the right answer was either weren't or were not. Now let's move on. Because of time, this is going to be the last one. And let's see. Was he at home last weekend? Yes. You have to guide yourself from the picture, right? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. Yes, he were. Or no, he weren't. Which is the right answer? No, he wasn't, right? That was the right answer. And now we are going to end the game, and let's see the places on the podium. We have 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place. Cami, Genesis, Vanessa were the 3 first. And we have runner-ups, Will and Gabriela. So I wanted to just as I said, review with this Kahoot. I don't know if you have any more questions or doubts about how to use was and where in the past. Are there any questions, guys, or doubts?
No, teacher.
No,
No, teacher.
okay. So I will see you next week. I hope you have an amazing weekend, that you're able to rest, and that the rest of the day today goes amazing for you. Take care of yourself and see you next week. Bye, guys.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye. Take care of yourselves. Bye.